Jan Williams, everybody else sub 50 seconds in this race. Now, in Kingston, 48.67 for the Olympic silver medalist from Bahrain, Salwa Naser. Can she do it again here? Paulino had not been beaten by Naser, had not been beaten for a couple of years in the 400 meters. Will she manage to turn things around here? Gabby Thomas was also ahead of her. Gabby now, as we know, moved down into the short sprints. Then we throw in some new challengers. Alexis Holmes has been here as a racer with Nikisha Price in there 5 and 4. So Alexis knows that in the middle lanes, they've got a slight advantage over the challengers, particularly Amber Anning, who we're going to see in a second. There's Nikisha Price. Was only 8th in Kingston in that incredibly fast race, so she'll want to turn that around. So the world indoor champion from Great Britain, been based in the US for quite a few years now, good 200-meter runner as well. Was disqualified actually at the European Indoor Championships. A real shame that was for lane infringement. Then Stacey Ann Williams, she must look at the times and go, well, I'm pretty good. I've run 50 flat in my career, but that makes me the slowest in this field. Not by much. Then Whittaker on the inside. Actually ran an 800. I'm always curious about 400-meter runners at 2.2 this year.
Really? Okay. This is a walk in the park for her, yeah?
It's impressive. Yeah. Actually, Amber Anning's last race, 2.6 for an 800. What's going on?
You want that
400-meter runners, exactly. Just testing an early season. Yeah. This, though, about their main event, the 400 meters. So we got Whittaker on the inside, then Williams, Amber Anning, the world indoor champion, in 3. Nikisha Price, Alexis Holmes, Paulino, the Olympic champion, in 6. Naser, Olympic silver medalist, winner in Kingston, and then Kendall Ellis on the outside.
You know Naser's going to get out, but Paulino does have her in her sights just outside of her.
Safely away, everybody, round this first turn. Naser has started quickly. Paulino's going to try and hang on to her, and also gone out pretty quickly Alexis Holmes, as she likes to as well. Amber Anning in lane 3 got some room to make up. There's a big gap between Price and the athletes outside her, so Anning's going to have to check off that. Now, look at this. Naser out there in lane 7 has gone through the first 200 meters incredibly quickly. Paulino hanging on. Holmes is right there. Amber Anning looks as though others are starting to chase her down. Whittaker has really come through in lane 1, and as that stagger starts to unfurl, we'll put her perhaps in 3rd. But it's Naser against Paulino. Paulino fighting, trying to get there, has got the momentum. Here she comes, the Olympic champion is going to get the win this time. Paulino, 49.21. Holmes maybe hung on for 3rd place there. Very tired in the last 20 meters.
She had to
too
do
hard, too fast, what do you think? Very quick through that first 200.
Well, the thing is, she knows that Naser's a closer, so she knows that she's coming. And like I said, she had to come out here and establish herself. She put the finger up at the finish line just to let y'all know, look, don't forget, I'm still that girl. And you know what? I think it was important for her to maybe lose because she'd been winning so much. So Naser had to kind of dash that cold water in her face and be like, who are you? And she showed us who she is today.
Time? I mean, we've had such a day today. I mean, that was about a race, though, wasn't it? As you said.
You know, I'm just looking at the time right now as we're speaking because I was caught up in the race.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal strategy. Just she stalked her around the first turn and just made sure she stayed close. She knew she could close on her edge. It was a fight in that finish line. 49.21. You break 50 point. It's respectable. We know what she can do. Like I said, she came to the home straight away, and you can see all that is a fight. And you can just see that, you know, Naser obviously broke down, and she could probably hear the footsteps. And athletes do have that feel for the athletes that are around them.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing for the world indoor champion. You can see that Amber Anning in lane 3.
Yeah, not the best finish for her, but lesson learned. And she lined up and... Okay, so I mentioned, you can just look at Paulino's face that she is fighting for this finish. You are not beating me today. Naser got really, really big with her arms, obviously getting very, very tired. But Paulino now knows that her speed is where it needs to be. She knows that she's going to have the strength. And she actually knows that Naser's not going to beat her in that 200. So going into that, she's got confidence. to just win the whole thing and get herself a slam championship.
Yeah, just by contrast, at 200 meters, Naser was 3/10 ahead. And, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but in it, if it was a flat 200 meters, that's a long way.
It's a long way. Those tenths mean something.
Well, MJ, a very happy spectator, and I'm sure very appreciative of another.
The women's 400 meters at the second stop of the 2025 Grand Slam Track Series in Miami turned into one of the most dramatic showdowns of the season. Nearly every athlete on the start list boasted sub-50-second credentials, so the anticipation was enormous, and the race more than lived up to it. Heading into the event, all eyes were on Bahrain's Salwa Naser, the Olympic silver medalist who had dazzled in Kingston just weeks earlier with a blistering 48.67. Yet Marileidy Paulino of the Dominican Republic carried an impressive record of never having lost to Naser in a 400-meter final, a streak she was eager to protect. Alongside them, familiar talents such as Kendall Ellis, Alexis Holmes, Amber Anning, and Britain's reigning world indoor champion added depth to what was already a stacked field. From the gun, Naser blasted out with her trademark ferocity, attacking the first half of the race with intent. She carved out an early margin by the 200-meter mark, while Holmes applied pressure from the middle lanes and Anning tried to keep contact on the inside. Paulino, however, refused to be rattled. Staying calm and collected, she trusted her pacing strategy rather than chasing Naser too soon. The critical moment came in the home stretch. Paulino, with her long, controlled strides, began slicing into Naser's lead. By the final 60 meters, her surge was unstoppable. With commanding authority, she overtook the Bahraini star, crossing the line first in a season-leading 49.21. Naser finished close behind in 49.33, while Holmes dug deep to claim third in 50.36, edging out Whitaker by 0.02 of a second. Paulino's triumph was more than just another victory. It was a tactical masterclass. She refused to be lured into Naser's frenetic opening speed, conserving her energy for the decisive stretch, where her strength and composure shone brightest. Analysts noted that the win underscored her maturity and resilience, proving she is in supreme form this year. Her understated celebration, raising a single finger to the sky, was a quiet but unmistakable reminder that she remains the benchmark in the women's 400. The victory also carried weight in the standings. Paulino secured 12 critical points in the Grand Slam track rankings, with Naser taking 8. This innovative series, driven by Olympic icon Michael Johnson, provides athletes with both financial incentives and increased visibility, two long-missing elements in professional track and field. By extending her winning streak, Paulino has not only reaffirmed her dominance but also strengthened her claim as the sport's most reliable force over one lap. With more stages ahead, the athletics community now waits to see if anyone can break through her aura of invincibility.